So, Twitter has been quite interesting today. There's been like an abundance of news and things, primarily uh, centered around ZO2, Lonzo Ball. And there was an article where there was basically a tweet from Shams that was like the two people in consideration, or two teams in consideration for him, are the Clippers and the Bulls. Then there's another one that said the Pels will not or don't plan to match any significant offer for Zoe. And now we're getting another one that says the Lakers are going to go through basically hell and high water to try to make or facilitate acquiring Lonzo Ball. Um, and so it's kind of like back to back to back. Are we going to get something else today? You know, here's the thing. Because it seems like the Knicks, there was a story that came out that said the Knicks are looking at getting Colin Sexton, aggressive about getting him. So I made this statement a little while ago, but I said the more point guards become available, the lessens the market for Lonzo. And you got Spencer Dinwiddie, CP3, Colin Sexton now, Dennis Schroeder, Kyle Lowry. There's going to be others probably that become available and all this other stuff. I know a lot of teams are talking about trading for Malcolm Brogdon. There's Ben Simmons. It's getting ridiculous. It is getting ridiculous. And so it's becoming a saturated point guard market, which is going to drive down the value or the number of teams that could actually bid for Lonzo. Having said that, here's my thing, and I'm going to keep this all the way 100 and simple. And I even mentioned this on Twitter. We don't know what a significant amount is for the Pelicans. Is that significant amount 25 million? Is it 20 million? Is it 15? We don't know. They have the right to match anybody. So until we know what that is, we can't really say for sure if he's going anywhere or not. Having said that, the Clippers aren't a good destination until we know for sure Kawhi has re-signed a deal to stay in LA with the Clippers. If it's just Lonzo and Paul George, I'm sorry, that's not enough. That's not a championship contending team. They're going to win games for sure, but they're definitely not in title contention. And as good as that Lakers front office is, I think it would be easier for them to try to facilitate a Spencer Dinwiddie, a Kyle Lowry, or somebody else versus trying to get Lonzo. Chicago still seems reasonable. And to me, it would seem more like Lonzo has his mind made up for Chicago based on the hints. But you can never, count your chickens before they come home to roost. So we're still going to have to see specifically what it is he is going to do. But it's heating up for him. And it's crazy because most of the Pelicans, there's like 2 to 3 sets of Pelicans fans. There's the ones that just don't like him at all. Never have, never will, don't like him. They're the people that are indifferent about him. And it's like, we'll keep him if we can get him on a good deal. Otherwise, whatever. Then there's the people that are like, they love him, but they love him to the point that they don't want him to stay. And then there's like a smaller segment of people that's like, hey, we love him, we want him to stay. and we the Pelicans should pay whatever they can to keep him. I'm somewhere in between the second and the third one. Now, if he stayed, I wouldn't trip, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend I'd be happy to be a Pelicans fan in the next couple of years. Honestly, if I could be truthful with y'all, I'm not saying I'm excited to be a Chicago fan if he goes there either. And while I like Zach LaVine, I like Kobe White, I like Laurie Markkinen, I like Vooch, I like Patrick Williams or Willis, whatever his name is. I like all those guys. Sadaransky. I'm not impressed with that team. And even Zach LaVine could leave the following year too. I'm not sure if he could sign a qualifying offer this year. If so, that might, lessen some of how I feel. But it seems like to me Lonzo's teams have too much uncertainty. Key guys are up for contracts that could leave. And so, like I mentioned, the Clippers, I don't care about them unless for sure they got Kawhi back. If they got Kawhi, hey, go to the Clippers and, you know, give it to everybody that you can give it to. Be close to family, get your money, be close to your daughter, and get to compete with championships next to uh, Kawhi and Paul George. And I gotta admit, had the Clippers had Lonzo, I would hearken to think that they probably do better in that series versus Phoenix. They may still eventually lose, but having Lonzo out there to kind of, guard some of those guys that save Paul George's legs might have been helpful. Also, some of the games where they seemed like they couldn't get into a flow, he might have been helpful. But we'll see what happens. Like I said, today has been kind of jumping for Lonzo news. I thought it was about time we got something from him. Um, Really, I was still looking to see if we were going to hear anything more about the Drew League, which they, hinted that all three of the boys were going to play at some point in the very near future. But I was still hoping to maybe see something about that. Maybe him training. So that's more so what I was looking for. But this works too. Um, I haven't seen too much of anything else I could think of that I think I need to kind of alert you guys to. I'm racking my brain trying to figure something out. But yeah, that's pretty much all I could think of. So that's all I got. Y'all have a good one. Peace.